The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed by its host and guest on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. I express firmly I am here to have a fun time, and don't need anyone ruining it by being butthurt. Take your clapped cheeks somewhere else. I am not a professional, I just play one on the show. Thank you, and continue supporting. Deuces.
Yo. Welcome. To another episode. You know the fucking vibes. Hey. Hopefully you're tuning in while on a drive. You know, taking in the sights in your drive, not getting into road rage. Or you're probably on the couch watching it on your phone, on the TV, however you watch this, how you do. As long as you do what you do while I do what I do while drinking some Mountain Dew, we all gonna be good, my dude.
Inflation getting higher.
Hey.
Makes it hard on the buyer.
Very, very hard.
Unemployment on the rise.
On the rise.
Issue filled with crime.
Yep.
Rent being paid late. Please let the dollar circulate.
Let it don't circulate. Hey. This all has to do with something.
Interest rates going up.
Interest rates going up.
Seems like no value in the buck.
No.
Meat prices up to stay.
Ready to stay?
Utilities are on their way.
Damn.
Airlines are running late. Please let the dollar circulate. Let it circulate.
Whew.
Yo, we all Thanksgiving feasting, no, we ain't chasing a quick flip. Broke niggas is sandwiches short of a picnic. For real, I take a quick flick, send it to mid-state. Drugs still bitten and we keeping the kids straight. And around that, the cat, my niggas sitting. So when it comes to getting this kitty, I'm not kidding. Niggas need money for pills, for real. And these labels
Fucking with the deals.
You can tell I ain't in need of much. Just that Tronic M6, no need for the clutch. I stand on my own too, no need for a crutch. Still get a nigga smoke like I passed him a Dutch. Rap shit's fascinating. It's animosity, it's past the hating. Cause I'm with a bitch that's bilingual. Sway valleys on mock neck by Pringle. Fuck a bank, the money's under the mattress. More coat, the leather and fur patches. Like ghosts in a Jeezy vid. From Vincent the K-Sack, that's an easy bid. Jail's cancerous, spreading like it's a poster. Having nightmares of Bear Hill and Ulster. I done spent more money than you counted. But it's past tense, so I can't account it. Y'all gon' make me empty the semi, I cop the 10 and still come home in my 20s. Looking 19 in the face, before it was 19, had 20 in the safe. This a whole different ordeal. And try and get in the game, I'm on my third deal. I done blew money with the Crips, now I'm getting blood money with the dips. Still doing my dips, chin up over the bar, my niggas spinning the yard.
All praise to God.
Try and keep my head above water, my chi up and my re up above a quarter. Toping a long nose like Blossom. They wasn't sleeping on them, niggas was playing possum. I was running around showing my ass like a young nigga that didn't wanna go to the draft. And even though the gangsters feel them, they try and kill a nigga like Tukey Williams. The hoopies wielding, president tits on it. My goons ride around with a couple of tips on it. Y'all hoping it gets stopped and the coppers find choppers with some of my prints on them. Nah, I put a few dollars on your head and what? Like the Ron Browns track, you're dead.
Rest in peace, Stack Bundles. Welcome. I already said this, but I'm going to say it again because I'm kind of hype about it. This is no special characters. I am your host.
On my Cool J.
And this is...
Hey,
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
You're listening to
That's us.
Special characters.
And
Welcome back to another late night with
Jose. Are you ready?
Is there any way we can cut his mic off?
please don't. Hopefully, you guys are doing great out there. Hopefully things are going your way. If it's not, we're looking for solutions to change that alternative. All right, we're gonna find another alternative to change the shitty situation we're in to make it better. All right, guys. All right, guys. So hopefully you guys are noticing this beautiful weather. It's starting to warm down. It's starting to get really, 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 really nice out there. Well, for a bit, and then it's gonna get cold again. I think this week has been in the 60s, and that's cool. I think next week goes back to the 50s. But you know, spring is right around the corner. Summer's right around the corner. So this beautiful weather is coming. So hopefully, it's a silver lining for you guys out there. So let me see what I got on my docket. All right. So I mentioned in the last episode that I was doing man work. All right. My dryer broke. And when I was taking it apart, it was easy. So that's the old dryer. So we had the new dryer in, and we kind of had to like minor disassemble it. Very minor disassemble. And the biggest part that was the pain in the ass was our house is old. I have an old ass house. My house is like almost as old as, I'm gonna say, 100 years, 150. I'm maybe highballing it, lowballing it. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but that's what it is. So the reason I mentioned this is that because we have old lines that run to the house that didn't need to be replaced yet, but guess what? We're kind of getting there. And we had a gas line, right? So I have a gas dryer. We have to move the gas dryer around. No, I'm messing this up. I have a gas dryer, right? And we have to connect the gas line to the new dryer. So we're trying to make life easier for ourselves while moving the gas dryer. And we're trying to loosen the clamp, but the person that previously installed it made life harder. They put like Loctite on that bitch, and that shit ain't want to move. So it was like, wouldn't it be easier to move the clamp that's connected to the pipe, and then we connect the dryer, right? That was our way of thinking. We were like, okay, that's what we should do, right? That would make sense, right? So when we got to go move the fucking clamp off that pipe, the whole pipe kind of started to move. I was like, all right, no, we're not doing that. So it was a whole Saturday dedicated to man shit, as some people would say. So it was like, okay, what can I do? What can I do to make this, I don't know, connect with the ancestors so we could get through this task quicker? That's basically what I'm saying. So it was me and my older brother. We're working this shit together, and he's like, you know, we're not tool savvy. We're like, oh, yo, pass me the thingamajigger. Pass me the squeezer. Pass me this shit. Pass me the starry thing. That's what we're just like, pass me shit that it sounds like it would be a tool, but it's not really a tool. Pass me the Robert screwdriver. Like, yo, that's what we're asking for. We're like, yo, let's figure this shit out. And it just let me know, like, wow, we're struggling with this, but we're doing the try. And there's a whole new generation of people that won't even do the try no more. So it was like, this is very interesting. And in my mind, this is what I'm thinking about, because it made me think about the last PTL question where the girl was like, yo, we hired a guy to come to the house to fix things around the house. And like, that used to be like one of the requirements when you would be looking for a man. I'm like, if you're going to be my husband, then I need you to know how to provide. I need you to know how to fix things around the house, lawn care, and then other fatherly figures, things that other fatherly figures, like things along those lines. That makes sense, right? So that's no longer a requirement. It's like, no, I have the money now. I could go pay somebody else to go do that. So it's very cool to be like, all right, now I know how to disassemble a dryer, put a new dryer back together, figure out how to troubleshoot this, and go on and so forth. And then I think about my friends and my cousins that work on cars, and it was like, damn, like every weekend I would see my cousin like work on his joint, and he was like, all right, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna take. I saw him take out an engine in like I think it was 20 minutes. That shit was wild, and it was cool. And like back then I was more focused on working on my car too. Now I find myself at the age where where I'm like that guy from the last PTO question where I'm like, hey man, I have money. I could pay somebody to do this shit. I don't want to do this shit no more. Cause I remember days I was like, all right, I gotta go do my oil change. All right, I gotta go change my brakes. All right, I gotta go do this. I gotta go do that. The most complicated job I've ever done was the fucking heater core. The heater core on a car is fucking annoying because you got to take out the dashboard. You got to find a way to disengage the fucking airbags so they don't fucking blow up on your face. Then you got to work on the engine bay from that angle and just try to get to this one little fucking thing. Then you got to get to the fire. It was a pain in the ass. And then the most dangerous job I ever did, where I should have really went to go have somebody professionally do the job, was I bought a car once off was it off Craigslist. I bought an Audi 2001 Audi A4, and the guy lied to me. Of course, I didn't buy the car for a lot, but the guy lied to me. He was like, "Oh, that's the suspension that's making that noise." I was like, "All right, it's suspension," and it ended up being the fucking drive shaft. So when I would drive my car, the first 3 minutes of the car, all I hear is dong 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 dong, and then it went away to the point where I was like, "All right, that's fine with me." And we kept driving, and then I was on a date with this girl, and she was like, "Oh, why does your car make that noise?" I was like, "Bitch, that's the horsepower kicking in." And it really wasn't. It wasn't the horsepower. It was my drive shaft on the verge. So the drive shaft was in the center. Two little things spinning, spinning, spinning. See how technical I'm getting with you guys? But the bolt that holds it together was broken. So it wasn't spinning in sync perfectly. It was going up and banging up against the I don't know, under the undercarriage barrier, right? So I didn't get it fixed until I started Googling, like, what happens when your drive shaft goes? Oh, it goes right through the fucking the Prendle console. Yeah, the Prendle. I called it the Prendle. That's gonna piss a lot of you off. But yeah, that's what it was. I was like, oh nah, I'm good. I keep my hand in. I don't feel like having my fucking hand get shredded to pieces because the drive shaft went on me while driving 50 to 60 miles per hour, thinking shit is all sweet. So I was like, all right. And to take it apart wasn't really hard. It was really easy, but it was like something that I was like, all right, did we do everything right to specification? And it was like, probably not. Well, that car lasted me for a while. So yeah, it was like pretty entertaining driving that car. I love that car. It's one of my favorite cars. It's one of my favorite bodies that Audi made. So yeah. All right. What else? All right. So on my way to purchase this new used dryer, because we found an outlet that sells new used dryers. You make that make sense. We purchased the dryer. We got the dryer for pretty cheap. We got it for like 160, 165. Still to me, because we bought the dryer that broke on us that we were fixing for years. We had that dryer for like 10 years. And we paid like $600, $700 for it brand spanking new, when we could have just, and the same dryer that we just had for like $600, $700, like 160, not bad. And it still works. It's still good. And it does its job. So I was like, all right, we could have been going to places like this instead of them buying brand spanking new out of the fucking Best Buys or the PC Richards or wherever the hell we went to go buy it. So it was pretty cool. And then I noticed, hey, there's this famous taco truck here. Let's go there. So we went to Garcia's Tacos, and it was like me, my brother, and my pops, and we just went to go eat tacos. And then my dad had to pee. And what I never noticed is that I've only been to Garcia's once, and I've only been there at night. I've only ever been there at night. And there was a little building in the cut. And I'm like, I didn't really pay attention to it because it was dark. I just wanted my food. I wanted to keep going. What I did notice the first time I was there, there's a lot of sketchy people there. There was a lot of sketchy people there. But I was like, you know what? This is like in the boonies of like Long Island because like the taco truck is like in the middle of like an industrial place, so it was really weird. So I'm like, okay. So fast forward to last week when I was like, okay, we're here, we could park here, and I'm like, what is this building here? And my dad's English isn't the best, so he could understand things, but if we start going like too deep, like into other conversations, he's gonna be like, I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. So me and my brother peeped it, and we're like, adult store, adult film store. I was like, and my dad's like, yo, I really gotta pee. Is there a bathroom around here? I was like, yes, yes, there is. It's right in that building. And he's like looking at the building. He was like, there's a bunch of weird people going in and out of the building. I was like, but they have a bathroom and you need this bathroom, right? See, my dad couldn't read that said XXX, fantasy booths, live girls, this and that, magazines, DVDs, sexual toys. All of this shit is listed. And my dad's like, he doesn't have his glasses on. So he was like, you sure I could go in there? I was like, yeah, man. Because he's like, that shit looks abandoned. I was like, nah, bro, you could just go in there. You're totally fucking fine. And I was like, this nigga's gonna go to either a urinal or if he has to go into a stall, it's gonna be a little hole there. And he's gonna be like, what the fuck is this hole here for? And it's gonna be a fucking shit show. So he goes in there and he comes like he did like a whole U-turn, like about an about face. And he's like, there's dicks everywhere in there. I was like, oh, so there's a lot of guys in there? He was like, no, there's just like floating dicks in there. And I was like, you don't gotta pee, man? You sure? He's like, nah, I'll hold this shit. How long this shit gonna take? He was like, it's gonna take us like 40 minutes to get back home. He was like, I'm gonna go pee on the side of the fucking road. And I was fucking dying because I was like, because me and my brother are fucking childish. We did that to my little brother too at one point. We was like, yo, it was like one of those like massage places that they give you the happy ending. And it was already like 11 o'clock at night. So we were like, hey, yo. He was like, yo, I gotta pee. And I was like laughing. That's the story of my fucking family. Niggas always gotta go pee. So yeah, I'm like, oh, he was like, you think that what was it? Like, that KFC's open? I was like, nah, that should have closed, bro. I was like, you could probably go in there. He was like, I could go in here. I was like, yeah, man, they real cool. So I was like, and since we're here, on me, he was like, because it's a massage spot. I was like, go get a massage, bro. Go get the full body experience. And he's like, nah, I'm good. I was like, just ask him the prices. So he's another one, just like my dad. That's where he get it from. He was like, he's just, yo, they was like in there wilding, asking for some, like the prices that they were giving for certain services was fucking crazy. And I was fucking laughing because my brother's not like that. So he was like really like, oh shit. Like he felt weird. He felt scared. He felt like the police were gonna burst through the door while he was just innocently going into a building to go use their restroom. He's like, you're here for sex, buddy? Is that what you're here for? So yeah. Me and my older brother are dickheads. So don't ever like listen to us and go do some shit because we'll tell you some stupid shit that's completely wrong, and you're just gonna have a fucking long day. Like that's what we do. We get bored, but yeah. But that adult store had me dying, son, because it's like they had a dress code, and the dress code was wear your hoodie. The dress code was, hey, you should wear your hoodie. Don't let nobody know who the fuck you are. So we were in there waiting for our food, not in the building, but in the parking lot. It's the same place as the sex store. And like nobody in there drove normal. Like nobody in there drove like, all right, let me go shopping for my favorite DVD or my favorite magazine. It was more like, run in there. Don't let nobody see you. Hoodie over your head and just go. And then those are the people that I guess like are like new to the store. And then they were like the people that were like, like it was very normal to them. They were like, this is just a regular Tuesday. So yeah, that shit was mad funny, bro. Now, I would have went in there if my dad wasn't there. Because they had a fantasy booth. And that's very old school. A fantasy booth is very old school. If you don't know what a fantasy booth is, go look at an old LL Cool J video. I forgot what it was. It's called Doing It. And that's when like dudes would like go to like a little booth and there's a plexiglass separating them from the girls, and the girls will dance sexy, they'll touch themselves, shit like that. And I've only seen that in movies, and I've only ever seen that in that music video. So I was like, I could legit go experience this and see what it's all about. I don't think it was like back in the day, because back in the days you would put quarters, like pennies or some shit, and that would buy you like I guess like a couple of minutes with the girl, and you got to keep adding the quarters, adding the quarters, adding the quarters. So it was like okay, now I was like laughing because we were waiting for our food as I stated, and like I said, people were running in and out of there. People were parking abruptly, and then when they were leaving all sweaty and shit. So I was like, "Oh, you guys weren't playing." But the most funniest one, the most funniest culprit of somebody going into this place was somebody that showed up in the company truck. I was like, "Wait, what? No, no, you're not brazen to go do that unless you're the owner of the company." But this guy pulled up because the only reason I even knew that there was a guy in there and a girl in there is because he almost hit us. Their horny asses were parking the car, and there was enough space in front of us to put a car there. But he felt really, really comfortable with putting his car bumper on our front. And I was like, something tells me like that's a normal thing for you to do, you fucking freak. But he pulled up with the company car, and he got out the car of his girl or his wife or whatever that his partner, whatever, and they would go holding hands walking into that place. And I'm like, oh wow, that's love. That's love. That's the kind of love I want. One of these days, me and my girl could go to the sex store and then we could go pick out straps. I don't know. That sounds like the American dream to me. You let me know. I know you guys are like, yo, what the fuck did he just say? And I'm like, you heard it. Is it? Is it? Is it? Oh, I saw a funny clip today where this interviewer was asking this couple, and he was like, "Yo, would you how would you feel if your man asked you to peg him?" And dude was supposed to wait for the answer, and he didn't wait for the answer. He's like, "Oh God, I love it," and she was like, "Yeah, that's gay," and you could just see his face go. This shit was funny as hell. Cause I'm like, you should have just waited for her to give the answer. You jumping out like that was wow. You going, yeah, man, I love that. And it's like, wait, you didn't give her no time to focus on that shit. Cause even after he said that and she said that, she's like looking at him like, yeah, that shit was mad funny. But yeah, man. You know how crazy it is to go to an adult store? Like I would feel weird. Like I used to feel weird going into Spencer's. And there'll be like the little dildos back there, the little outfits and shit like that, the little cupcake dick makers. So it was like, okay, but going to like a whole sex store with a bunch of other people in the sex store. And you know them niggas is horny. Everybody in there is just fucking extra horny. Cause you don't go to places like that unless you're horny. Like you don't go there just to kill time. That's not like a Target where you could just go like, I'm gonna go window shop. That's some wild shit. Oh shit. Let's go get this dragon. Like, you ever seen them shits? Go look up a dragon dildo. That shit is wild. Girls that take dragon dildos are fucking nuts, bro. They don't feel nothing. All right. Sex is no longer sex to them. It's like a fucking chore. It's like a chore. If a girl's fucking a dragon dildo or an octopus dildo, that's wild. I'm pretty sure I just lost monetization, but this is too much dildo talk. This all stems from the conversation of the K Cups episode. Go watch that shit. But not really. It doesn't stem from shit. But go watch it anyway. All right. And get back to me. Let's see. People watching is fun. That's all I'm saying. People watching is fun. And what better place to watch people? In front of the nudie store. Why not? All right. Okay. I guess I'm bringing my work to the nudie store too. So it's been very active at work for me. It's been super active at work. We have like little challenges that they do every year. And my company does this challenge where they pick a destination and they walk to this destination by tracking your steps every day. And if you do like 500,000 steps in like, I guess like 2 or 3 months, and they equate that to walking to like the continent at the destination you're going to be in. Like I remember one year we walked to Paris and then we were walking all over fucking France. And I think one year we did to Rio de Janeiro. So basically what happens is you walk all these steps and then the winner wins tickets to go to this place. And then from there, second place runs up. There's like $5,000 a person, and then third place is like, hey man, you get a shirt. So my job does this every year. So this year we were doing a walk to Africa, and every year when I participate in these things, they let me pick the name. And it's like I always will go with the worst fucking names. So I was like, all right, it's like you're good at this, you're good at this, Jose. We're walking to Africa. What should our team name be for motivation? And I was like, Sierra Leone. And they was like, what? Like Sierra Leone? Yes. But you said Legon. And I was like, yeah. What's the correlation? I was like, Sierra's the place. Legon is like, we're leaving. And the smart ones are like, no, dickhead, that's not what you really intended. You mean like legs gone? And I'm like, tomato, tomato. However you interpret it is however you interpret it. So I was like, all right, give us another one. I was like, reverse Amistad, because we're going back to Africa. And it was like, wait, no, you can't do that. You can't say that. And I was like, I don't know what you want from me. I don't know. This is where my mind takes me. And I was like, what is other things? I was like, I don't even know a lot of negative connotations. That's because of fucking film and society and shit like that. You remember back in the day, they used to like shit talk Africans, and they'd be like, you African booty scratcher. And I was like, African footy walkers. And they was like, get the fuck out. And I'm like, yo, I'm giving you gold here. I'm giving you gold. I was like, what do you want me to go? Hakuna Yatatas? Like, what do you want me to say here to you? I was like, you want me to say some dumb, corny shit? You're like, oh my God. Because I remember one year I chose the name Scrambled Legs, and it was like, oh, I really like that. And I was like, all right. And then the very next year I chose another corny name like Earth, Wind, and Tired. And it was like, oh my God, do it again. I was like, no. That's not what's in my heart. All right. I am a troll at everything I do. So I was like, what can we do that's going to be offensive, but not be offensive, clever, and yet you're going to have to think about what the fuck I'm talking about. So we started thinking, and we were like, remember in the arms of an angel. Yeah, Sarah McLachlan. So we were like, wait, did I say her name? Sarah McLachlan. McLachlan or McLachlan? I'm gonna figure this shit out. Relax, ho. Relax. Come on. And the eyes of an angel. McLachlan. I'm totally off. So still alive, right? So I was like, yo, I was like, we can't go with Sarah McLachlan, obviously, for reasons, because they're gonna be able to tell. So I was like, all right, the Sarah McLachlans or the McLachlans. And everyone was like, yes, I love it. And then my one coworker that gets it, she was like, Sarah McLachlan, you dickhead. I was like, yeah, for 50,000 steps a day, you can get us to Africa. They was like, wasn't this slogan back in the day, for 50 cents a day, you can feed a child? And I was like, they don't need to know that. So the whole reason this shit works is because we're all people of color, except for one person. So I'm like, as long as us, a person of color, is the team captain, and we could finagle, like if we were to win and we were like, hey man, no, McWalkland. Like we walk a lot of land. Yeah, McWalkland. Like MacGyver. And if you want to flip it, we like walking to McDonald's. I was like, yeah, that works. Somehow the one Caucasian in the group ended up being the leader. And I'm like, I don't think that's gonna work out anywhere. I don't think that's gonna work out well. I was like, and somebody really questions it, and then they really press us. I was like, I'm looking at the one coworker they got. I was like, I see you crumbling and telling people, this is what the name means. I was like, you guys are really fucking with me right now. But yeah, it was like too fucking funny. I was like, okay. Speaking of racism, not really on the wasn't really on the agenda, but it just happened to me today, so it was pretty fucking funny. So since COVID happened, my building has been empty. Like everybody's been working from home remote. And Trumpito has stopped that. They're telling everybody, take your asses from home and go back to fucking work. So our building is filling up with more people and more people and more people. I was like, great, that's fine with me. Every now and then, I run into a person that feels that I don't belong in the building. Meanwhile, I never left the fucking building. You guys could guess the tone. So I go into this building today. I go do what I have to do. I do my job. And then I was like, I'm hungry. I'm going to go upstairs, see what I can get for breakfast real quick. I go up there and there was like a group of 4 women in front of me. And they were talking about it. 2 girls were having, it was their birthday that same day. Their birthday was today. So it was like, okay. I was like, that's cute. And one of them looks back at me and they go, God, I really wish I could speak Spanish. And I'm like, how the fuck did you get that? How do you come to that thought process looking at me? Like, God, I really wish I could speak Spanish. I was like, I think this is really shitty game you're about to attempt. This is really shitty game you're about to get off right now. This is really shitty fucking game that you're gonna try to get off right now, and I want to see how far you could get with it. She was like, because people think I look exotic, and they always go like, girl, are you Spanish? She was like, no, no gracias, no gracias. And I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. I'm gonna mind my business. I'm gonna wait for my food, and I'm gonna keep it going. So what happens is we all get our food. They go to their little the condiment station. I get my condiments and I will get my ice and I'm going to the elevator and they go to the elevator. Elevator comes. I'm like, wait, I forgot something. Let me go get something real quick, blah, blah, blah. I don't tell them this. I say this to myself. So I go back, get what I need, come back. Elevator's now closing. So I was like, elevator closed. Let me hit the button. I catch the next elevator. Elevator, things, open back up. I was like, oh shit, I got this elevator. And there's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So I was like, okay, I'll take the elevator with you guys. And it's like, oh, hey, so you're with this department, right? I was like, yeah, I gave it away. She was like, there's not that many guys in this building. I was like, yeah, I know. It's crazy, the ratio. Even when the building was full, there wasn't a lot of guys here. So that's what made it like, eh. So she goes, I'm really proud that you work there. Huh? Like, I'm glad you work there. I'm not getting what you're selling, lady. She's like, yeah, I'm really like little shit like that. It's really interesting to hear because sometimes, it's like you're trying to say something without saying something. Like, I'm proud of you that you work there. Why are you proud that I work there? Like, why are you proud that I work there? Like, I'm not looking too deep into this conversation. I'm genuinely trying to figure out, like, what are you trying to say? Like, I'm really glad a minority like you works in this building. That's kind of what I was getting from that sentence. Like, you go, boy. Go where? And don't call me boy. Hold up. Hold the fuck up. Who the fuck are you talking to? So it was like, all right, whatever. She was like, well, we're on this floor. So whenever you want to come up and say hi, you can. Muy caliente. Muy caliente. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. No problem. Because the one that was like looking at me, she was like, I really wish I could speak Spanish. And she was like, yeah, like, you should come up. And I'm like, yeah, I'll probably teach you some Spanish or something, you know? I don't understand la biblioteca, puñeta. And she was like, oh my God, that's so cute. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I know, bitch. I know. Yeah, I know. And I was like, somebody's going to Google that shit. They going to fucking fire my ass. So they're like, he called me his little puñeta. Oh my God, that must mean like doll or something. Like his little puñeta. So, yeah, it was fucking entertaining. Speaking of, let me stop. She might watch this. There's a gym at my job. I started using that gym at my job. And I've been on and off, as you can tell. As you can tell, I'm more off than on. And I went back for the first time this week in like, I guess like 3 weeks. I haven't been there in 3 weeks. So I went back and one of these girls that I work with found out that I go to the gym. So now they started going to the gym at the same time that I go to the gym, which is late. Her shift ends at 5. She goes home and comes back to the gym to be there from 8 to 9. And I'm like, That's a lot. That's a lot. The only reason I go to the gym from 8 to 9, because the majority of the time, that's the time I'm getting out of work. So I was like, I could just go downstairs and go work out. So this person was very aware that I was going to be at the gym at this time. And I'm not saying she's not attractive, but I'm like, I really wanted to go to the gym to go work on myself. I've gained a lot of weight. I would like to lose it. I don't feel like gaining another 120 pounds of another person on me while I go to the gym. I just want to go work and lose this weight. So the minute I got into the gym, oh hey buddy, how you doing? And just nonstop talking. And I normally dislike being talked to in the gym. I just want to just do my set and keep it going because I'm not having fun here. All right, this is a chore. So I'm literally like, the girl was like on the treadmill, walking. I'm like, great. And I go to like an exercise bike and I start using the bike. She gets up the treadmill and just stands in front of me and starts talking. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, I'm gonna have to do something to like break the attention here so I could go do my workout. And what I ended up doing was I pulled out my yoga mat. I was like, you know what? I didn't get to stretch. And stretching is weird, all right? Stretching is like you're twisting, you're contorting your body in different angles that look weird if you don't know what the fuck somebody's doing. Like, you ever seen yoga? Some yoga positions are weird, bro. So I'm over here stretching. I'm stretching out my arms. I'm stretching out my legs. I'm stretching out my back to make sure I don't cramp up. I ended up cramping up anyway. But yeah. So normally when people see people stretching, they walk the fuck away or they break eye contact, right? That's the main thing. You break eye contact when somebody's like stretching and shit like that. So this person wasn't breaking eye contact. They kept like making eye contact with me, and I'm laying on the floor. That's very fucking vulnerable. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck can I do for them to get the message? So I was like, I made all of my fucking stretches sexual. I was like, yo. So I just started like doing like mad hip thrusts. I was like, ugh, ugh. I was like, I feel the burn in my thighs. You know what'll cool the burn in my thighs? Some sweet cream. Oh yeah, I could use a shower. I needs me one of them. What movie is that from? So yeah, it was like bad fucking funny. And then eventually they was like looking at me because I'm laying, I turned my body in a whole different direction. So I didn't have to make eye contact and they got in front of me. So I was like, all right, now I'm hip thrusting. I'm like this and my legs is going up and like my crotch is like lifting towards their face. And I'm like, yeah, get away from me. Like shit. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, my friend. And I'm like, yeah, get the message. I'm fucking doing shit. I was like, yo, second result would have been me fucking farting in her face. I was like, yo, that's the only way I gotta like get you the fuck up away from me. But it was just bad funny because I'm like, yo, I genuinely came here to work out. Like I genuinely came here to like get some gains. And I'm like, you're kind of slowing me up here. So to do those moves was hilarious. I was like, this is what it's about. This right here is exactly what it's about. Me having fun and getting that person the hell away from me because why are you that close? That wasn't a punching. That wasn't a punching at all. So I think I'm done with that section. Let me see what else I got on my docket. In the arms of an angel. All right. This is the movie review section. I will not be reviewing a movie. I will not be reviewing a movie. So this is more of me giving the finger to Hollywood. Me giving the finger to snowflakes. Me giving the finger to people that are sensitive for no goddamn reason. Me giving the finger to people that majority of the times the joke that's going on has nothing to fucking do with them. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because I was last night. No, it started before that. So one of my favorite shows that I stumbled upon early but a little bit late on was Always Sunny in Philadelphia. One of my favorite fucking shows. Love that show. It's very out there. See, when I first seen the show, when it first came out, when it was brand spanking new, it was like, okay, another bunch of group of people that are inside of a bar and they're dealing with bar people dilemmas. I was like, I thought it was like a reboot of Cheers. Boy, was I fucking wrong. I was wrong. And I'm glad I was wrong because it is the opposite of what anything should be. There are lines that shows like we're not going to cross this line. And they fucking cross it every trip. Whenever you think like they're not going to cross that line, they cross the line. Every trip they cross the line. And it's like, okay. Like they'll say racial slurs, but the way they'll say racial slurs is like that's an odd way to use a racial slur. So one of the things is that like there's like 5 characters. One of the characters is walking across the street and then sees another character walking across the street. The other character that's walking across the street is walking past like a work zone, and he goes. The guy across the street notices that one of the construction zone, something's happening above the guy on the other side of the street that's directly under the construction zone. So he was like, I need to get this guy's attention. He's not really talking to me right now, so he's not going to respond to me if I say his name. So out of nowhere, he goes, look out. And everybody's like, whoa. Everybody turns around like, yo, who said that word? And he was like, what? I just said. And I'm like, what? Did he just really just say? I'm like, nah, B. And he was like, explaining himself. He was like, the reason I said it was because it's a word that catches attention, and it did exactly what it needed to do. Because if I didn't call him he would be dead right now. So yeah, he was like, watch out. And the word I'm trying to say is a bunch of sticks. So together we make a mighty. I can't say it. But yeah, it's a great show. So something like that was put out for the time frame to be funny, and it actually was funny, and then you go look for it now, is no longer there. It's no longer available. These are things that you had to go be there for the time and go buy the DVD set, and you will be able to see things that was all right for when it aired, but is PC now. So it was very entertaining to watch that shit when it happened in live time, and when I went to go look for it in Disney/Hulu, episode's been deleted. Pissed me off. I sent the clip to my cousin where they were doing blackface, and I forgot what the episode was about. Like they were recreating a commercial, and it was like, oh no, man, I bet you can't do this. And he's like, I bet you can't score on me. And it was like, all right, so one of the characters dresses up in blackface. And I'm like, why is he dressed as a black man? Like, okay. And then he's like, I bet you I could score on you right now. And he goes and he starts dribbling the ball and he goes to take off, and it cuts to a whole another black man that dunks the ball, and then it cuts back to him. And one of the things that made me fucking laugh was my cousin noticed it, and he was like, yo, the guy that they cut to, right? I was like, yeah, basketball player. Yeah. He was like, normal nose. He was like, yeah. He was like, relook at his character. I'm like, what about it? His nose is wider than the actual fucking basketball player's nose. And I was like, yo, that's fucking crazy that you caught that detail. And I was like, yeah. So the reason I bring it up is because last night I was falling asleep to Scrubs, and one of my favorite scenes is JD. The reason I mentioned Scrubs is universal. If I start mentioning the characters from Always Sunny, you'll be like, who? I don't know who the fuck that is. So yeah. So in Scrubs, JD and Turk went to college, and Turk was in the fraternity. He was in the black fraternity. So Turk goes in white face. He makes himself white, and he makes JD go in blackface. So they go to the fraternity, and JD's like, yeah, I don't think this is cool. I don't think nobody's going to like this shit. He's like, they might misread this and label me as racist. He's like, nah, you're with me. Like, we're good. So right when they're walking through the door, a girl walks by, and Turk is like, yo, oh shit, Monique, what up? and he like walks away from JD, and JD doesn't notice that he walked away. So he goes straight to the door, rings the doorbell, and the fraternity opens the door, and there's like 6 brolic ass black men there, and they just pull him in and they start whooping his ass. And I'm like, holy shit, I forgot about that. So in the show, it fast forwards to the future, and there's like, yo, you look fucking familiar. And he was like, all right, let me just do something real quick. And he mentally drew JD in blackface again. He was like, that's who the fuck you are. And I was like, yo, that shit had me crying. And it was like, yo, they explained why the joke wouldn't be offensive. And an executive said, nah, that's still offensive. We're not going to cut that, delete that whole episode or delete that portion like it never happened. And it's like, you're fucking with me. That wasn't the worst thing they could have fucking done. And I'm like, what else? What other great episodes from shows? Think about it. Like, think about other shows that like pushed the envelope. And it was like, oh shit, they're gonna pretend that never happened. They're gonna pretend that didn't exist. They're gonna pretend like it's the Mandela effect. You know, it was an Illa Mandela effect that just happened. Go look it up. They don't do whatever the fuck you want. So it's 7:00 on the dot. I'm on my drop top, cruising the streets. Yeah, got a pretty little. So Usher was on TikTok, and he does that song, and he goes, "It's 7:00 on the dot. I'm in my drop top. Who's in the streets?" The fuck you mean, who's in the streets? What do you mean, who's in the streets? That's not the fucking line, bro. That's not the line. It's 7:00 on the dot. I'm in my drop top, cruising the streets. Yeah. You don't know. You don't need to know who's in the streets when you're cruising the streets. And the very next line is, I got a pretty bad thing waiting for me. I pull up. Like, you're fucking with me, bro. Like, don't rewrite history. Rewriting history is like one of the main topics that's going to be further down in this season, because that's what I feel like people are trying to do. They're trying to rewrite history. That's why I started the fucking episode the way I started the episode, because the whole conversation has been about recession, and why not start it with a song about recession and some street shit. But yeah, that shit had me dying. Son. It was like, yo, who are you guys to deem what's offensive? Who are you to be like, nah, that doesn't fucking fit? Because it makes me think about the episode that I mentioned all the time where Frank from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, he's in a museum and he's looking at artists' drawings. He's like, derivative. So how long does somebody go that's the artist? Like, yo, you know what it is? I don't like that. You're judging my shit. Who are you to judge my shit? You put it in a public place, kind of the same way I do this podcast. You're going to be like, yo, this is a shitty show to watch. Guess what, buddy? You're 1,000% entitled to your opinion, and that's okay with me. So, yeah. 12:41 in the night. I'm in my tight shirt. Who's in my sheets? Yeah. Nobody. Nobody's in my sheets. Dead children. No. Cut. Flag that. So, yeah. It just makes me wonder, like, what else could you get rid of? Like, like Nosferatu. Nosferatu is a great conversation because this movie still sucked. But Nosferatu is a play of Bram Stoker's Dracula. So the director was like, no, we don't like this. They went to court. It was mandated. All right, all copies of Nosferatu must be destroyed. That beautiful original artwork, this fucking legendary motion picture was set to be destroyed. And the only reason we have it today is because somebody was like, nah, I'm not destroying this copy of it. The world will know one day that this movie came out and it will be praised. And thank God it did, because it was praised. So, yeah. I'm trying to think of other movies where things got deleted, and it was like, or shows where things got deleted, and it was like, you little pansies, how could you do that? Like, why would you get rid of something that was already solidified okay for the time, and because the new generation is what you deem sensitive and you don't want to hear shit from that generation, that you get rid of it? No. Don't touch the art. The art is the art. Never go back and touch the art. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's the most dumbest shit I ever heard of. All right. I'm gonna get out of the movie review section, and I'm gonna go straight to.
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
All right, guys, we are at the cool report. I was thinking about nah, I'm not gonna do that. I don't want. All right, play bad music. So let's see what I got on the docket. Oh my God, beautiful girl, Katie. You're beautiful. All right, beautiful. Beauty is the least I could do to describe it. All right, that's me shooting my shot. All right, so France wants to take back the Statue of Liberty. French lawmakers call for the U.S. to return the Statue of Liberty, saying America no longer represents its founding values. You can't take it back. You know what's crazy? I just found out that the Statue of Liberty is supposed to be a black woman. I did not know that. That was very interesting. I'm 38 years old, never knew that the Statue of Liberty was a black woman. I wanted to front and be like, did you know the Statue of Liberty is a black woman? Of course you didn't. And just play it off on some cornball shit. But no, I did not know that the Statue of Liberty was a black woman. And that's cool. I like that. But no, you cannot have her back. Okay? Kind of racist, because I'm pretty sure she has chains around her ankles, but that's a whole nother piece. Now, no, you can't. All right. Don't be what do I want to say? An Indian. Don't do that. Okay. Don't be that thing. All right. Don't just be a. All right. Okay. Not cool. Not cool at all. All right. Technically, we're not supposed to say that word anymore. But you know what? I'm gonna say it again for good measure. All right. All right. Said some other things too. See, you never know. But yeah. No, we won't give it back. And the lady that responded for us, she did a fucking spot on job, because I like that. She was like, "We don't fit with your values. America looks like this right now, and we look weak." She was like, "Just remember that you guys never won a war." And I was like, "Oh shit!" She said, "Fuck your Revolutionary War." And then she was like, "And if it wasn't for us, you motherfuckers wouldn't be speaking French. You guys would be speaking German." And I was like, "Ooh, talk that shit. Talk that shit." One thing I know is that Biden administration would have never said no shit like that. They would have been like, we're going to turn the other cheek. Fuck that. Shorty's just talking shit. But she's backing it up too. Let's fucking go. I was like, all right. So what made me laugh is that this happens. This goes out. Let me see this. And Naomi Osaka said, "You know what's crazy? If you're asking for that, why don't you return the money?" She was like, "Return Haiti's money as France pressures U.S. over." Let me read that correctly. Naomi Osaka urges France to return Haiti's money as France pressures U.S. over its Statue of Liberty. So there's a little clip here. In 1825, under military threat, Haiti was forced to pay France 150 million francs to compensate former slaveholders, a debt that took over a century to repay and crippled its economy. Today, many call for France to acknowledge this injustice and consider reparations. All right. So let me read that correctly. In 1825, under military threat, Haiti was forced to pay France 150 million francs to compensate former slaveholders. Do you know how crazy that shit is? See, the one thing that Haiti is known for is that when the French came in there, they murdered motherfuckers. They killed them dead. So for France to be able to get that up, like, well, since you killed slaveholders, guess what? You're gonna owe us this much money. That is some wild shit. That's some wild shit to get off. Like somebody was like, "Oh, you're gonna do that? I got you. Hold my beer." Got some shit for you. I can tell you that much, buddy. Damn, that's crazy. You know, in America, former slaves or descendants of slaves ask for reparations, and a lot of them are doing it because a lot of shit was built off the back of slaves. And I know before you guys start getting into your bullshit, like, oh, we were slaves too. Like, yo, relax. All right, let me land. So imagine if one day, because it could happen with this administration, the way shit's going, because they're kind of like trying to like change the fucking history books. It's fucking crazy. So imagine one day they just go like, all right, since you guys were freed, or a lot of you guys ran away, we find lineage that your ancestors ran away when they were bought and purchased for this price, that you're gonna have to pay that back. That sounds fucking crazy. That sounds wild as hell. That sounds like, that's not petty at all. That's not aggressive at all to make people pay back some shit that was originally wrong to do. So that's some wild, like, you guys didn't think that shit out at all. You guys just pulled the trigger on that and see where they went. So that's gonna be a wild conversation. I don't know the door that France just opened the door to, but I hope they're ready for that, because you just opened up a whole can of worms that I don't think you are ready to have the conversation about. That's just what I feel. Like that ass is like the pot calling the kettle black. Like, how can you say you don't fuck with our values or shit like that? Like, you don't mess with that, right? You're really saying that, right? But you got some shit in your past too, bro. Like, who are y'all talking to? And I don't want to hear shit about your currency, bro. You guys have very pause-worthy currency. Like, you guys got glizzy money. The franc, is that what we're talking about? The franc? Yo, get your glizzy currency the fuck out of here. Let's see. What are French glizzy brands? Let's see how dominant and strong as, damn, bitch. Insecure, my bad. Insecure, that shit sounds. French hot dog brands. French hot dogs. That's chorizo. That's not the same. Popular French hot dog brands. Lester's, and there's Lafleur's, and there's Glatz Kosher. No. Even your Frank brands aren't manly. God damn. Like, you want to taste my Lafleur? Like, no, I'm fine. Pretty sure that's supposed to be a vagina, but no, you're saying it's a dick. Oh, look at that. I think that is a joke. I'll let y'all be the judge of that. So, yeah, no, France, we're not giving you the Statue of Liberty back, all right? We're not, all right? No, there's nothing you can do. All right. Let's see what else I have on my agenda. Just Hilarious crash out. If you guys listen to the radio, then you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Just Hilarious is a lady that took Angela Yee's spot on the Breakfast Club. So she just talks about like the news and shit like that. That's her thing. That's her bag. See, a thing with her is she recently had a crash out because she just came back from maternity leave, and the person that took her spot to cover her spot while she was gone never left. I get that. That's actually a great reason for a crash out, if you ask me. The problem is the person that she chose to cover her while she was gone can actually do the job better than her. Now, she doesn't bring the funny ratchet shit that Jess does, but she does bring an informative part that people like. And at the end of the day, as funny as people can be, informative shit wins. Like, I know if you look at all the episodes from what's recorded, I believe this is episode 144, if I'm correct. I've always mentioned this shit ain't super fact based. Like, I be winging this shit. I be winging this shit a lot. So it's like, okay. But just like her, I give you responses that you would legit hear from everyday people like you or me. My shit isn't polished. You know what's crazy? Side tangent. I just sent a text message to a friend, and polish and Polish are spelled the same. I'm going to be mad because I didn't really fact check that. But polish and Polish are spelled the same. And the only way you can distinguish polish from Polish is if there's a capital letter on it. That pissed me off because I was talking about this show. So I was thinking about redoing this area and getting rid of this thing and getting rid of the PS5 in the gaming section and just make it a corner with a little chair so it can be more intimate. Probably getting rid of the view of the soundboard and probably getting rid of the microphone and just really make it seem like a one-on-one, like we're sitting down talking to each other. I don't know yet. It's in the air, but it is something that I was considering doing. So, yeah. But I was like, I just want something more polished. And she was like, Polish? I was like, Polish? And she was like, Polish? I was like, Polish? And she was like, Polish? And I was like, something tells me we're not on the same page, but that's fine. Now, just hilarious. Back to her. Angela Yee just left. And we were doing tryouts to get people to fit in. I mentioned it on the show before that just hilarious. At one point, we was looking for an intern, and I was trying to get into that position and into her. But that's another side story. Because, shut up. So she gets back to work. The person that's supposed to temporarily replace her never fucking leaves. Now she's doing her show just with the mess, but the girl, her replacement, is doing the show for her while she's there. And she's like, yo, this kind of doesn't make any sense. It kind of seems like you're forcing me out. Like you're trying to have me take a back seat to my own fucking show. And it was like, that's crazy. That's some crazy shit. But she went on live. She had like a venting sesh. And she talked about like, yo, nobody here is mentioning that the whole comment section has been saying, yo, this person is better than me at doing my own fucking job. This person should replace me and I should be fired. And she was like, my coworkers, my co-hosts that work with me are seeing these same comments and they're not saying anything about it. And the one thing that they did say, which is what I always say, is these comments are from people that you don't fucking know. This is the internet. Somebody on the internet shouldn't be able to hurt me like that. They shouldn't be able to hurt my feelings like that off of commentary. But I will say, I got caught once of a conversation. I was like, you know what? I can't be paying attention. It was over J. Cole. It was over a J. Cole short thing that I did. And I was like, yo, I didn't like that J. Cole just really tried to apologize. I can't listen to your music the same no more because you're going around saying, I still this and I used to do this and I used to do this. And it was like, well, we're asked to be like, all right, do you want to engage? And he was like, no, man, I just want to say I'm sorry for everything that I've ever done. So, yeah, no. So she had a reasonable crash out. I think it could have been done better, but it was eventually going to happen. So they took it to the show and they were talking about it on the show. I think I have a clip of it and it was pretty I believe it was warranted. I'm like, yo, I'm telling you guys that I'm not liking what's going on. This situation is weird. How can we rectify this? If you guys aren't rectifying it, then I need to figure what I'm going to do. I might have to step away from the show. So it was like, okay, cool. Let me play it.
It was weird. Yes, it was weird. To be a fourth voice. Ever since I came back, it was weird. Yes, it was weird. Yeah, I at first, no, I did not. I wasn't too fond of Lauren. No, I wasn't too fond of her when I came back because we had a whole plan, even how when I came back, how I pick her to fill in for me, right? I come back, she ain't never leave. Then, all right, cool that she don't leave, but she's on only during my segment. If she was meant to be a fourth host, move her in another way. Why she got to be moved in on? Because nobody had a problem with Jess with the mess until she started reading right. You know what I mean? Till she started reporting. I wasn't hired as a reporter. I was hired as Jess with the mess. So she started reading and delivering details and all that stuff.
Yes.
Then that's when Jess with the mess wasn't good enough no more. That's how it was presented. So I'm like, all right, cool.
Who said that though? Because the internet said that?
What are we talking about? No. To be a fourth voice. Why she only got to be a fourth?
This is the thing.
This is why I agree with her.
Voice. Why she only got to be a fourth voice?
Or correct me if I'm
my
wrong.
segment.
She wasn't a fourth voice. She was a producer. She was hired as.
So, this is exactly where I agree with. See, if you're gonna add another co-host, you gotta add another co-host. But the thing is, this co-host only appears when I'm doing my section. If I'm only doing my section, this co-host is only talking when I'm doing my section, then it means you're kind of setting her up to take my spot. That's what I'm taking it as, that you're setting somebody up to like thrive in my position. And that's a hell no, because she's not doing it when Charlamagne does Donkey of the Day. She's not talking when DJ Envy's doing the mix of the day. She's not talking when all of these things are transpiring, only when I'm doing my segment. And I feel like she's 1000% in the right to be upset over that. Now, what she said was key, and I mentioned this in the last episode. If somebody could do your job better than you, and they see that they could do your job better than you, you know, they're gonna take the shot. They're gonna shoot their shot for that. That's all it ever is. So when it comes to this game, you always gotta be on top of your game, because if you're not on top of your game, there's gonna be somebody that takes your shit away from you. And I don't think those are Shorty's true intentions to do it. As they just said, she was kind of a higher rep than Jess. She was a producer for the show. I don't want to go from producer to being on the mic. I don't have to do that. I get paid to do better shit. So Jess also mentions like, yo, she's only talking through my section and she's killing my section. That's great. But then they're giving the credit to me. She was like, yo, call that shit something else. And that's why I respected Jess on that portion. She was like, yo, this doesn't have to be just with the mess. This could be such and such. This could be legal. This could be this. This could be that. She was giving ideas to name that section something else, and they never ran with it. She was like, yo, you're still calling it this. That's like somebody else coming to do my show. Like, hey, welcome to No Special Characters. I'm such and such. And you're like, wait, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? You know, it's funny. You know, it's funny. Real talk. Just thought about it now. This show started with COVID. At the beginning of COVID, I got sick. I got really fucking sick. I got COVID. I was almost hospitalized. And what's crazy is, at the time, I always mention it, like, this is not me shitting on C's, this is just me speaking about a situation, which is, I got sick, and Steez was like, nah. He didn't believe COVID was a real thing. He just thought it was some bullshit. So I was like, all right, cool. It wasn't until later he was like, oh, it was real. And it was like, okay, yeah, dickhead. But he was like, yo, I'm not gonna stop the show. I'm gonna record an episode without you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Instead of like giving me a week to get better, he went to go record. We didn't have a fan base. We didn't have a fan base yet. So it was weird that he was like, all right, I want to try something out. And he went to go try it out. And then like the first 3 minutes, he did it cool. He produced the shit out of it. But the first 3 minutes, he has the guy that's in my seat going, what the fuck is a Jose? And I'm like, you thought that was cool for somebody to say on my show, what the fuck is a Jose? Who the fuck is Jose? I don't even know who the fuck that is. To me, when that happened, I was like, all right, I could overlook that. I could easily overlook that. But that's also why I was in charge of naming the show. What did I call it? I called it something stupid. Nevadius. And I meant something at the time. So I was like, all right, whatever. But that person that was in my seat felt the need. I don't think if he intentionally did it or didn't intentionally do it, but he took a shot. I was like, all right, cool. Like, whatever. went back, grinded it out, cool, and then we went to go produce some amazing episodes. And then the split happened. And it was like, okay. And the reason I bring it up because when that split happened, he went to go do his own show. And I believe the first episode, which is really the second episode because he had a pre-episode, same person there. And I'm like, oh, that legit was, if this doesn't work out, that's legitly my backup. And I was like that's who you had as another ideal co-host. So like that shit made me laugh. I was like, all right. So Jess, I understand why you're like, hey yo, this shit is weird. Like, why the fuck is this person still here? Like, you're fucking with me now. Like, you're really fucking with me. Like, I'm not a fan of this at all. So yeah, I could see the crash out. The crash out is warranted. But you can't be reading the comment section. The comment section is people that you never met. The comment section is people that you never met and probably will never meet unless you're really interactive with your fans like that. And then the people that you're really interactive with that fuck with you aren't going to be saying, hey, you're doing a shitty job. And if they do tell you you're doing a shitty job, it'll be constructive and won't be on some hate shit. So it's like, But yes, I saw the crash out. And the crash out was pretty entertaining from seeing it because it's like, all right, so I saw the live. The live was like, all right, she was in her feelings. You could tell she was in her feelings. And then I guess at the end, she could kind of tell, like, all right, I got to fucking deal with this shit the next morning because that's not a show that has an HR. So there's no such as like, no, we can't talk about this. No, we're going to fucking talk about it because it came up. You said something. You defended yourself. Now we have to defend ourselves. We're going to say our piece and whatever and blah, 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 blah. So watching it on the radio, watching the live on the radio, and it's like, you could tell, like, she felt away. Like, she was really in her feelings. She felt bad. She put her head down. I believe they cut away so she could start crying and shit like that. And it's like, yo, man, when it comes to this shit, it does get emotional. It does get there. And it's like, yo, why am I struggling to get past such a minor inconvenience? That's what I'm trying to say. And it was like, all right, am I really going to be replaced? And you can only be replaced when you give up. That's why I say at the end of the show, yo, man, if you fall down, get your punk ass back up. Because if you don't, you'll get left out. You'll get walked all over. And that's what you don't want. But I don't think, even if Shorty were to leave the show, she's still good. But she's absolutely right. People don't get. It's the same way I do this section is the same way she was doing her section. And I think that's why I like her work. Because the cool report isn't, I'm not a journalist, all right? I don't feel the need to go do my due diligence because I'm not a journalist. I mean, I could do it. I could give you the information that probably works, but why would I do that, all right? Especially when 90% of the show, I'm bullshitting with you guys the majority of the fucking time. So I was like, why would I make that the one actual, factual, concrete thing? It's like, okay. And she was like, yo, I was hired to do this portion like this. It was never meant to be like, all right, these are actual facts. It was never meant to be like that. And there's one person that comes in and that's very well educated and well rounded and actual facts is kicking your ass. And other people are like, I like that way better than the ratchet shit. And it was like, you're going to get a fan base with either side. You just got to know how to work it. So, yeah, I understand. I think she could have went about it better, but shit happens. Sometimes people get emotional and they just let that clip go. That's what it really is. Sometimes you just let your feelings take over, and next thing you know, you're making a whole fucking scene in front of the whole world. And either you're good enough, you're lucky enough to have friends check you on that shit, or you're just doomed to make the same mistakes again. That's just the way I see it. That's the way I feel like things normally go. But yeah, I'm going to move on to the next topic. Also, whenever I mention these stories or like about previous episodes or like shit from the past, I'm never shitting on that person. I'm just telling you about like a moment that transpired. Like, there's no animosity between me and C's. All right. At least I don't think, at least not on my end. But there's like no problems. I have no issues with that man. But it was just like things that is like cool for me to like let you guys know, like, oh, this is what was happening in this time. This is how I felt around this time. And, like, it's pretty fucking entertaining. I think at one point he told his side of the story or some shit like that, so it's cool. I didn't really get to see that episode like that. It was pointed to me. I didn't care to look at it, but whenever I mention shit like this, it's not on some like, oh, that guy. No, I'm totally fucking fine. And as I mentioned before, I thank C's because when the split happened and like he didn't really mention it was a split, he just came back. He was like, "Hey man, pull up to the shop," and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna give you the recording equipment," and it was like one of the best gifts that I can have because it was one of the best gifts ever given to me because it was like, "Yo, I how could I put this?" It was one of the best gifts ever given to me because I didn't know where we were at that state at the time, and then to kind of let me know, like, all right, I'm gonna give you this equipment so you can continue doing whatever you're doing. And I was like, all right, man, great, I love it. And then like we were still cool at the time, so we just ended up fading out. Shit happens sometimes, but yeah, never know animosity shit, never know anger shit, just in case any of our friends, because we have mutual friends that still watch this and they be like, oh, he's talking shit. Are they gonna report it back that I'm talking shit? And I'm not talking shit. It's just what happened at the time. I'm just explaining it to you guys like, hey, this is what was going on at the time and this is how I felt at the time. So yeah. So before anybody tries to stir the pot on some bullshit. But yeah. Let's see what else I got on my podcast docket. All right, Girl Scouts of America lawsuit. So apparently, there's been metal and pesticides and the cookies detection. There were apparently there has been detection of pesticides and metal in all of the cookies. Not some of the cookies, not on a specific flavor, none of that. In all the cookies. So they're being sued. And I bought cookies the other day and I'm like, oh my God, I want some Samoas. I just found out they're changing the name on that. I don't even know it was ever called Samoas, but all I know, you know what I do know? They were fucking delicious. And metal or no metal, still good. All right. But they sent over the paper. We're like, have you eaten Girl Scout cookies from this time to this time? Yes. Put me in the joint class action lawsuit. Let me go get my 15 cents back. So yeah, it opened an interesting conversation because I was listening to Rory and Maul, and Rory and Maul this is not the first time they had this conversation about the Girl Scouts of America, but because we all kind of brushed it off and laughed at it, and they kind of did their research on it, and they were like, "Hey yo, this company that sells cookies is only open for 4 months," and I was like, "Okay, I'm with you." They make $800 million a year. Huh? $800 million a year in 4 months. That's $200 million a month of cookies. And that's some wild shit. And it was like, we're a nonprofit. I was like, but I never heard of any of the charities you give to. You guys say you're a nonprofit, but I never, ever heard of a charity you give to. They was like, all right, so do the girls get a cut of the boxes? No. What you get out of this experience is work ethic. We teach you how to do this, run a business, do stock, do this shit, do that shit. And it's like, so who gets the money? The charities. Who are the charities? We don't want to bore you with that shit. And then they went deeper. I was like, we never seen a Girl Scouts of America headquarters. And they say it's in New York, but I've never seen it. And I would like to think that it would be more than one headquarter of the Girl Scouts of America. I would like to think it would be one headquarter. Because I've only ever seen the picture that they have in the city of the building. I was like, but a place that distributes this much cookies across America, there has to be distribution centers. They have to be the fucking place that they make it. There has to be a place in a country, state, or city that receives it. It just can't all just go out the same day. Where the fuck is it being delivered to? So, yeah. I'm like, that's weird. You're onto something. And then one of his co-hosts go, why are these cookies only available for 4 months? They're not things that go in season or out of season. Cookies are all year round. And I'm like, you guys are onto a lot of shit. And it made me sit back and think. I was like, they could be fucking drug laundering. They could be drug laundering. It wouldn't be that far fetched because they run it kind of like drug laundering or being in a drug enterprise. The reason I say that is normally back in the day when I was growing up, the drug dealers would talk to the kids that were young and they'd be like, hey man, I'm going to give you $50 to run this kilo here from here to here. And if you get caught, don't worry, they can't charge you because you're a minor. Boy, are those fucking days over. Now they're charging us as adults. But yeah. And it's like, they kind of do the same shit too. The main people pushing the cookies are the kids. And I was like, that's weird. And then I went and found out, guess what? If you want to sell these Girl Scout cookies, you have to pay me so you can sell our cookies and you don't get a profit. It goes to a charity because we're a nonprofit. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking? What is going on? Look what they did to us. So it's very like, should we be looking at something else that's going on here? Like, is there something more afoot out here? Is there something more that's going on behind the scenes that we don't fucking know? Because technically, this is child labor laws being broken. Like, they got little kids peddling cookies for 4 months straight to make a sale. I went to the mall when I bought those Samoas and I was laughing because the girl kind of made me seem like I was fucking big. And I was like, yo, let me get 2 boxes of Samoa. And she was like, do you need more? Because we have plenty that you would love. And I'm like, relax. Everything's laid out on the table. I can tell what you have. Don't ask me, do you want more? That's like going, I know you want to eat more, you fat bitch. And I'm like, yes, I do. But now I can't because you called me a fat bitch. And I don't want to be part of the stereotype. So no, I won't. It's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you because you guys are fucking $800 million a cycle. That shit is crazy. $800 million is fucking sick. Sick to my stomach, fam. So, yeah. Underage girls selling product. And then they're getting their parents to buy the product so they could sell it, make taking places, set up stations in the mall, a little table with a sign that says Girl Scouts of America. And then you got the poor little girls walking across the mall. Hey, do you want cookies? This is like them niggas that kidnap kids. This is like reverse that shit. So it's like, all right, now the kids are coming to you like, hey, do you want cookies? And it's like, sure. What? This is reverse child abduction. This is adult abduction with cookies. Yeah, bastards. So yeah. That shit is crazy. To hear that conversation, I was like, this makes a lot of fucking sense. This does seem like it's a drug criminal enterprise. And we should be further investigating this because who gets the money? Because I think they tried to say the CEO gets 92 million. So, yeah, that's a lot. 92 million and 92,000. Either way, I'm not going to fucking look for that bullshit. So, I'm going to get out of this section and going to go to...
Wait, Jose! Jose, I got to tell you something!
Ask me a question section. Ask me a question section is characters that like to ask me questions that are above the norm, not the norm, or kind of norm. So let's see what we got. Why don't you do a show in Spanish since you like speaking it so much? Fuck you, bitch. You puta. All right. I'm over here trying to give you work while you sit down wherever you're sitting down eating your tortillas or your chapato. Fuck out my face. All right. As I mentioned multiple times, I am not that fluent in Spanish. I would love to do a whole show in Spanish. It would probably be fun. Same amount of boring, but probably be fun. I'd be like, Atenco gato en mi pantalon, mami. Which means packing that heat, baby. Packing that heat. So, yeah. No. Why don't you do your own fucking episode? Why don't you go do your own podcast and do that shit in Spanish? Gosh darn it. Like, that's very like, it's like, kind of like today with the girls in the elevator. They were like, hey man, we wish somebody would teach us Spanish. And they're looking at me and I'm looking at them like, I wish somebody would teach me Spanish too. So yeah. And people don't understand. I went through trauma. That I'm not aware that I went through trauma, but I'm pretty sure I forgot the majority of my Spanish because of trauma. And the reason I say that is because I grew up in the New York City public school system, where at the time, if you only spoke Spanish, they didn't try to work with you. And the best thing that they try to do is put you in a special needs class because there's something obviously wrong with him. Yeah, motherfucker, I don't speak the language. Like, that's all it is. I understand the work. I don't understand what the fuck anything that's coming out of your mouth. Well, nobody understands what's coming out of your fucking mouth. So yeah, that's my response to you if I would do a show in Spanish. Maybe one day, but as of right now, it's not on the horizon. So let's see what else I got. Did you see the clip of my OnlyFans? Wait, what? Did you see my OnlyFans clip I sent you? Subscribers versus creators. You had me in the first half. Not gonna lie, you had me in the first half. I was like, you sent me OnlyFans clip. Okay, I'll dibble and dabble. But to be honest, I don't have an OnlyFans. Clearly, I don't have an OnlyFans. I am not subscribed to anybody because I'm cheap. And if I were to subscribe to anybody, there was an OnlyFans that I would like to watch. They're actually Solace Rose. She has the gigantic gazungas. That's not a bad look. Not a bad look at all. Solace Rose. Let's see what I could find.
In America, do OnlyFans.
My mind.
Found out 1.4 million women in America do OnlyFans.
Jesus
1.2 million is between 18 and 24.
Wait.
What percent of women, how many women in America are between 18 to 24?
Wait.
I find out roughly 10 million women.
What?
So just on OnlyFans alone, 10% of women in that age group are on OnlyFans. So there's only 10 million women between 18 to 25. Then I decided to think more about the consumers. Who is consuming OnlyFans? And I found out that 82 million American men subscribe to OnlyFans. Now, to think about how big that number is.
Big number.
How many people are in America? 165 million men are in the United States.
Damn. Shorty really did the math.
And they're telling me that 82 million out of 162 million are subscribed to OnlyFans. Of the 82 million men subscribed to OnlyFans, 90% are married.
Damn.
87% of OnlyFans users are male, and 68% of OnlyFans users are white. So the average OnlyFans customer is a white married man. Found out 1.4.
I'll defend you, married white man. Shorty's just talking shit. I need real fact-based answers. Where you're getting that from, all right? Where'd you get that information that all those men are watching OnlyFans? And if it's true, y'all need Jesus, all right? That's a huge amount of people that are watching these girls do OnlyFans. You know what's funny is that I was having this conversation at work, and I was like, yo, it's kind of annoying. I think I have this conversation all the time. It's really annoying that when we come down to like a situation where we're both in dire need of making income, we need to figure some shit out, that girls can do the cop out and be like, I'm going to do an OnlyFans. But the thing is that OnlyFans has to hit, or else the funny meme that I said last week where it was like, yo, it's crazy when you find out the employee that you really like has an OnlyFans, but they're selling it for like less than a fucking HBO subscription is fucking wild. And then 9 times out of 10, and the other meme was like, yo, when you start an OnlyFans and now everybody in the office has seen your pussy, but only one person paid for it. And it's like, yeah, that's a thing. Shout out to Reddit. But yeah, that's some crazy shit. Because Guys don't have a hustle like that. There's nothing that a guy could do to be like, oh shit, show me some nipples. Like, all right, bitch, give me my money. So, yeah, that's a large amount of men that do that, and women outnumber us by a lot, which is, I guess, why it's popping. And I don't know. I'm cheap, man. I'm not. I don't see myself giving money up that easily for a girl that I don't know like that. All right. Just because I've been inside your guts doesn't mean I know your guts like that. All right. Just because I fuck your guts doesn't mean I hate your guts. All right. Okay. You do whatever you want with that philosophy right there. But yeah. That number's only gonna go up. That number's only gonna go up. All right. Well, maybe not the married men portion, but the girls doing OnlyFans is gonna go up. But I think the married men watching OnlyFans for a fee, that might go on the decline because girls might say like, yo, why are you paying for box when there's box at home? Like there's vagina at home. No, go straight home. Like, okay. All right. I'll have that again. I'll have the beef curtains again. Okay, whatever. But yeah. That's a wild conversation. Like those men that are married and that have all those OnlyFans, how long does that last before you get caught? Like, how do you hide that? I feel like you have to have like a separate credit card that your wife doesn't know about, and then you just charge it up. It's like, okay, unless you're pulling out cash from the ATM, and then it's like, oh, you're nasty. You're on some other shit. But okay, I get it. I guess whatever. Who would I pay for? I just said Salas Rose. Salas Rose is definitely one. Jasmine Valega, 2. And I think that's it. But I would have to be like way up for me to be like, all right, I guess who's gonna spend money to see your nudes? So yeah. Oh damn homie. If you guys are ever wondering who voice this
Welcome
is,
back to another late night with
Jose.
that's her. All right. Jose. Wow, it sounded really paused. Whoa. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. All right. I just want to say.
Nay, I do not jest like that.
I
do
don't.
not jest like that. You frolic too much. Oh,
No Ludwig. So let's see what else I got. You call that motivation at the end of your show. You can do better. I think I'm doing pretty good with that portion. See, I give you enough encouragement to like bring you up, as opposed to a lot of motivational people. They tear people down and then bring them up. No, I don't. I'm not a fan of that because you might get the wrong person on the wrong day, and that tear down might be catastrophic to that person, and they might never get the build back up. That's why I kind of don't like doing that. I like my motivation the way I have it. If you need some motivational words from me, if you're really looking for me for motivation, then you really need to fucking figure out your life choices. Because the fat man in the chair shouldn't be used for motivation. The fat man in the chair should be using his fucking computer skills to get you out of terrible situations. Everybody has a fat man in the chair, especially Frank Castle. Go look it up. His name was Gizmo. I'm sorry. If I'm out here killing people, my best friend his name can't be Gizmo. Figure that shit out, guys. Are you the same animal and the same beast at the same time? The fuck are you talking about, bro? The fuck is y'all you know what it is? I see a lot of you motivational speakers. I see a lot of you guys. And some of you are really good at what you do. A lot of you guys are really good at what you guys do. And then a lot of you guys are terrible at what you do. Yeah, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all be talking about half the time. The motivation y'all be giving is fucking crazy to me. Like this guy that I saw earlier, he was like, have you ever been in the office and there's somebody that's doing the bare minimum and they're over here, like you're over here busting your ass and they're on their phone and they're doing this and they're doing that. And these are the same people that complain that they're not making enough money because they don't meet the requirements. Yeah, that's totally fine with me. I'm okay with that. You could bullshit all you want as long as I do my job and don't have to do any of your job. I'm 1000% okay with that. 1000%. I don't give a fuck if you do your job or not. Just don't have me pick up the slack on your fucking job. And just know when it comes to raise time, just like that man said, they're not going to get a raise. But the part where he fucking lost me was if I worked in the office and I had to do this and I had to be surrounded by people like that, I would go straight to the boss and be like, this person isn't doing their job. Listen here, you cunt. You could just do your job and mind your fucking business. See, that's another thing that people don't get is that it costs nothing. Minding your business is fucking free. Just focus on what you're doing, stay goal orientated on what you're doing, and then you can move forward. But a lot of motivational speakers like that guy that I would just, if I knew his name, I would mention his fucking name. But I didn't remember it. It just reminded me that there's people that really listen to people like him and they run crazy with it. Because every now and then we get like an office snitch. And like their most recent office snitch shit at my job was they walked up to one of my supervisors like, are people supposed to be walking around with their headphones? And then they did like a massive crackdown on headphones. And it's like, or you can mind your fucking business. What does my headphones on have to do with your fucking work? All right. It's not like a real team job. Like my job and another person don't go hand to hand. If I fuck up at my job, it 1000% is on me. If I do good at my job, it's 1000% on me. So I didn't get that guy's purpose. But like, I would go tattle. Oh man, that shit is crazy. Shit is crazy. Because it kind of reminds me of the people that work certain jobs and they be over the top with it. And you're like, hey, yo, hold the fuck up. Who the fuck made you the supervisor? Like that kind of shit. And it's like, well, I felt it was important that I would determine or dominate. Like, yo, like calm the fuck down before somebody slaps the shit out of you. So yeah. I forgot how I even got there. That's a crazy side tangent. Motivation. Man, I'll give you words of encouragement. Maybe that's motivation, but I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to break you down to get you to be motivated. I don't think that works like that. You know what it is? I've also seen this the other day where seeing a younger person talk to an older person, seeing a younger person have a conversation with an older person, and you can tell when the younger person just spitting off the top of their head. And it's like, yeah, if you were a little bit older and you would assess the situation better, and then you would have never made the comment that you had to make. Like we were talking not that long ago about like people that feel the need to like get their opinion out. And it's like, sometimes you don't have to give your opinion. Sometimes you could just hold it the fuck back. You don't have to always comment on something. And it's like, it's very, what's the word I want to use? It's very detrimental that when you come across certain people, that you watch the way you talk. Not on some tough shit, not on some like I'm tough. I could say whatever the fuck I want and nothing's gonna happen. It's more of like, you never know what somebody's going through. You don't know what somebody's going through. They could be having the worst fucking day. And that little comment, that little mean negative comment that you say could push them over the edge. And you're fucking responsible. You could be the 13th reason why. All because you didn't know how to just hold back a comment that didn't have to go out. You could have said whatever you wanted to say in a different way, but no, you said it the way you said it, and it could be misinterpreted a whole nother way, and it could really fuck with you in the long. Like, that's why I kind of don't like going down that route. Like, motivational speakers are also different. Also, you have to be accomplished to be a motivational speaker. At least that's the way I feel. A lot of y'all aren't accomplished, so it's really weird that some of y'all be talking that shit. It's crazy to me. But okay. I'm going to go ahead and move on. That's the end of that section. And we're going to go into... Welcome. Part-Time Lover is the section that people like to fast forward to because this is where all the drama is. Shout out to you guys that partake in Part-Time Lover. I will help out as many people as I can. You can take the information, not take the information, but I do appreciate every question and enjoy that information. All right, let's see what I got on my docket. Really? You're not gonna work, bitch? And let's. You are not alone.
My girl's ex is a battle rapper,
Hey.
and he made a diss track about me. Now I can't step to him because he's her baby daddy. So how the fuck am I supposed to respond to this bullshit? You're petty, let me know.
Shout out to that guy. All right, so he's a battle rapper. He made a diss about you. Respond back. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Get into that booth. Get into that booth. Get those bars off. You're like, you're a deadbeat daddy. Couldn't be me. What, maybe we could ghostwrite some shit together. Respond back to me. We're gonna help you. Send me the link to the beef, to the diss track. If it's on SoundCloud, that shit ain't gonna go anywhere. If it's on YouTube, all right, you might have an issue. If it's on Spotify, like this shit's on Spotify, good luck. But yeah. Write a diss song. Couldn't handle it. Had to dismantle it. Eggs in the bowl. Batter it. Like your previous charges. Let me stop. Like, let's just start making shit up. We got to go the Drake Kendrick route. You are hiding a child. You got to do something that's like, yo, like, I don't know. Do a diss song and have his baby mom's on the chorus, which is your girl. So, yeah. Or like, you could get petty. You could get real petty. Like, if the baby daddy's reaching out to me, blah, 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 and when his mom comes to visit, take a picture of his mom, like, send it to him. Like, guess who's with me? Make that the album cover. First of all, fuck the click and the bitch you claim. I know that's not the lyric. But I can't keep catching copyright infringements. So, yeah. Yeah. Do it this track. That shit ain't gonna be hard. That shit ain't gonna be hard at all. Get that shit out right out the way. These kids don't even look like you. Who is that a diss against? I think that might be a diss against her. No. Take that one back. Take that one back. You and your baby got the same reading comprehension levels. That's a good one. You got to go technical like that. Like, the baby's dyslexic just like you. Pepe Le Pew. What it do? So I was listening to one of the old episodes, and then they started freestyling in the front, and I thought of some rhymes. I thought about that. So I was watching it and I saw my fucking gears like turning, and I was like, I could have made the fucking freestyle way more terrible than it was. And it would have been great because that's when we were all together. And that should have been fucking jokes. Go watch K-Cups. So yeah. Go write that diss track, dog. Go write that diss track, dog. Stop playing. Get him. Cook him. Or if you can't do that, go report his page. Find something. Get a defamation lawsuit. Go have fun. That's what I could tell you right there. Get him back that way. All right. Next question from a lover is...
Me and my man are buying our first home, and we're stuck on the style of home. I love colonial, and he likes ranch style. Which do you think would be a better style for our first home?
Huh. You said you like what? So you like ranch dressing? Oh no, you love colonial and he likes ranch dressing. I like colonial too. This house is colonial that we're in. I like 2 floors. I like having more than 2 floors. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a pain in the ass when somebody gets older and then they gotta go up all those stairs. My homegirl has a walk up and there's like at least 30 fucking stairs for her to get to her apartment. That's gonna suck if she still lives there in 20, 30 years and she is doing that at an elderly age. So this is really just a preference point. I don't like ranch houses. I think ranch houses are too small, even though they kind of say it's the same size. I think it's too small. But if you're genuinely asking me what kind of house to get in New York, then I would say plantation. KB plantation. I don't know. it's the history for me. Let me stop. Um, I like Colonial. Colonial would be cool if you're planning to have kids. Ranch would be better. All right, get your valleys hidden. All right. So the reason I say that is if you're gonna have kids in the ranch style home, then you never have to worry about your kids falling down the stairs, if that makes any sense. Because it's all one level. I just feel like you get more bang with your buck, or you could do more with a house that's colonial. I don't know. Um, there's different styles of homes. I like the industrial look. The industrial look is really fucking cool. That's fire. Because it's kind of like you're making your own duplex. See, there was a house around the corner that we were looking into buying, and then we ended up getting outbidded for it. Um, it was like a two family. There, it was a regular big ass house, a corner house that we are gonna turn into a two family, and that person just made it look like a building, and that shit looks fire. So yeah, those are cool. Um, what are you into? Depending on where you're living at, do you want backyard space? How do you want a driveway? Shit like that. Um, there was a little house by my mother's house, and I think they called it something for B, like a boulder dash or some shit. A bungalow. So a bungalow, similar size, scoops to a cottage. Bungalows typically have more of a sloping roof line as well as a small front porch and a veranda. The breezy home style is particularly popular on the West Coast. So one of my mom's neighbors has a house like that. And it's a little cute, adorable house. But when you start looking at the other houses, like, yo, other houses are way bigger than my little ass house. I got it for a good ass price. But I'm paying property tax. It's just as high as that, as a regular full size house. But really depends on preference. I think if you're gonna have kids, you could go for ranch style. You don't have to worry about somebody falling. You have a colonial, you have just more room for activities, all right? Um, Also, I'm a firm believer in your ceilings determine how much money you have. By that I mean, if you have high ceilings, you have more money. I was talking to Sam about that. She was laughing at the idea of it. But I was like, every time you see like a beautiful house or like a beautiful mansion, that's the first thing you notice is the high ceiling. So I equate that with money. So good luck to you guys. I would say Colonial. You can find a way to trick them into that, but I think Colonial is the best. My bad, homie. I'm gonna have to side with that because I'm not a fan of ranch style homes. So I'm gonna get out of. It's good working with you. All right, guys. All right. So I want to get out of here, but before I get out of here, I want to say shout out to you guys. Keep doing your thing, doing that thing, and doing that thing, doing it well. All right. However that Cool J song goes. Hopefully you guys are out there killing it at whatever you do. And if you're not, keep working on your craft. You're gonna get it. All right. You're eventually gotta get it. All right. You're gonna fail, but you're gonna have to get it at one point. All right. And if you fall, get your punk ass back up. All right. The world does not stop because you stop. All right. So everybody continue doing your thing out there. Hopefully things go your way. Things work out great. And whatever doesn't go your way or isn't meant to be, take that motivation and add it to the fire for your next goal. So I am your host, Jose Luis, aka All My Koj, and I am out of here. Peace out.